What's good, everybody? Welcome back to Whole Views, and today we are going to start a new video series that's going to come periodically, mainly on one day of the week. It's going to be Firearm Fridays, and we're going to start talking about guns on the channel, mainly philosophical stuff, and we're going to do that starting today with this first video, the inaugural video, and let's go ahead and jump right into it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more gun content. Again, Firearms Fridays is going to be on Fridays, not every single Friday, but when I have the time to pull them all out and talk about different things as it relates to some of the firearms I own or have access to, I'll be doing that here on the channel. So subscribe so you never miss a Firearms Friday video. Today's topic is going to be, what gun do you really trust your life with? So for myself, I'm only speaking from personal experience when I do this here. I am what I call a firearms connoisseur, right? So I believe that every household should have at least 3 firearms in it. Whichever 3 you pick, there should be 3 in every household. And a lot of guys that are really into guns, they like to, go on these real deep dives into the rifles, right? We love our AR-15s. We like to hold them out. We like to mess with them. We modify them and add all kind of pieces and optics, and we have them set up in conditions like, man, I want this gun to perform so well because I want to have a rifle I can trust my life with. And at the same time, you got another set of guys who love, the AK platform. Mine is currently undergoing a little bit of construction. I'm waiting on a piece to put right here and have that handguard locked in place. And I'll do videos on these rifles and stuff as they come up. But when it comes down to AR-15 or AK-47, like, what gun do you really trust your life to? For me, I would have to answer that question very simply, and it's with something like this, because my idea of trust is very different, right? So this is my Ruger LC9S. Now, just to show you, it is, unloaded. Magazine over here also unloaded. And the video here today is talking about this little firearm, the role that this firearm plays in my life, as well as the role that guns like this play in most people's lives, and they probably don't even know it. So to the casual person, you think the rifle, the long gun, that's what's gonna save my life in the worst possible situation. But the thing that I think a lot of people don't think about is the worst possible situation could probably not occur while you're at home having access to guns like the ones I showed. There's a good chance that if anything pops off, it'll probably pop off in a place where you're not home. And I don't do the everyday carry setup, like some guys have, like a knife and a pistol and a flashlight and just a set of things that they always have on them. I don't always do that. But I do know most of the time when I'm looking for a firearm to leave the house with because it's nighttime, or we're traveling a little distance, or maybe we're going to be at somebody's house that we don't know their neighborhood as well as we know our own, I always reach for this. I don't reach for an AK. I don't reach for an AR. This is the thing that's going to be on me or near to me if anything happened away from my home. And that's what I mean when I say trust. When we talk about trust, it's something that you just believe, not something that you think on often. So I'm sitting in a chair and I trust this chair to hold my weight. So much so that I have no weight being leveraged on my legs. So if this chair just gave out, like, I would just fall straight to the ground. But in the back of my head, I just trust that it'll work because it always does. This plays that role in my firearms collection. I don't practice a whole bunch with it. I probably have about 500 rounds through it over the years, and it's always shot when I needed it to shoot. And that's not saying much because I've never taken it into a course or anything like that. But it's played its role, and that role is the one that is always nearest. And that is why I would say I probably trust it more than I trust those rifles. Actually, I'm currently having serious trust issues with that AR. And we'll do a whole video on that later on. But just to understand, or help people to understand, that the one that you reach for most often even if you didn't put a bunch of money into it, even if you don't put a whole lot of thought into it, that is probably the one that you implicitly trust the most. And that is what this little 9mm pistol is for me. It is a 7+1, but I never put one in the tube. I don't think I've ever had to load it while I'm out and about. Just never felt like I needed to. But I think it's not hard to whip it out and, you know, rack the slide and go into a situation. But honestly, I keep this around because I'm never anticipating being in a situation that would call for all that. As well as having one of these does not make me want to be the first person into any situation. I still do my best to avoid any kind of commotion because all I want to do is go out and come back home. I like this firearm a whole lot. I think Ruger does make a lot of quality, low budget firearms, very, very affordable stuff. And from what I've seen in like the American pistol, and then they had the Security 9 that had just came out, like those are like actually quite rugged. And I believe they just released another micro pistol type firearm that was released in the last few months, and I think I saw a few guys review it or do like the first mag reviews of that one, and it kind of has my attention as well. Ruger makes nice things, and there's other companies that make small little micro pistols like this. I think of the Glock 43 that I might feature on the channel, and a few others. All good stuff. You don't have to have a huge rifle to say, oh, I have a weapon that I have my trust and my faith in. Because quite honestly, you will use this probably more likely than you would use a long rifle, because of the concealability, having it around you, just picking it up and going. So those are my thoughts as far as it concerns the gun that you trust the most. You might put a whole bunch of money into a rifle or a whole bunch of gadgets on a shotgun, but in truth, the one that's on your hip most of the time, the one that's within your reach most of the time, that's gonna be the one that you implicitly on the inside, without even thinking about it, you trust this one or one like this the most. I will say this though, this is a caveat. I am in the South. I'm in Southwest Louisiana. If you have a truck gun, it's totally different setup for you, because you have an actual weapon that's designated for trouble. I don't have that. I'm thinking about it, getting into the whole truck gun thing, and I actually have one on deck in the collection that might serve that purpose if we decide to go that route. But I don't see the need for it at the moment. I think, and I've always thought for a long time, I used to have a wheel gun, got rid of it. This small semi-auto is more than enough to get me from wherever I am back to my house. Keep this a 7-round 9mm and a 9-round 9mm, and I think that is sufficient. If you disagree though, please let me know in the comments. What do you carry on you? What do you think is sufficient for a weapon that you should trust your life with? Do you think a micro pistol is not enough? Do you think you need a full-size handgun or an AK or an AR? Or are those the things you feel you need? I don't feel like I need those things on an everyday, every situation basis. I think, again, unless we're thousands of miles from home, if I'm within, an hour drive home, I think this should be able to get me out of any situation and rolling back to the safety and security of a home. And, whatever situation would arise after that, we'll deal with it. So anyway, that's my thoughts. Please let me know what you thought about Firearms Friday, man, and the whole gun discussion. You think I should keep it? I'm definitely going to do a few more installments of it, because there's just a few things that I want to talk about as it relates to the gun world, and especially those rifles, man. I got some real trust issues. So come on back to the channel, check out those videos as I discuss those things. And if you like the movies, this is still going to be a movie channel. I got a whole bunch of movie content that's coming, especially in the month of July. It's looking crazy. So enjoy yourself, guard your heart, make sure you subscribe.